everybody, and welcome to Sim Race TV. Tonight, we are live with the Monsters of Dirt, Twisted Motorsports, JIR Motorsports Slide Job Sunday for the 305 series here, and we are at the virtual Chili Bowl, where all the action went down just not long ago there in IRL, that is, and I don't know if you guys watched any of that, but it seemed like a pretty good show, and I'm sure this is going to be a good show as well. Of course, I'm Jay Weezy tonight up in the SR TV Network booth, and I'm going to be trying to call this action here at the Chili Bowl. These drivers out there getting warmed up now in practice. And I'm looking out there at all the cars. Looks like we got 50 cars that showed up here so far tonight. And right now, it is the driver of this machine right here. Well, it looks like Joshua Gayman, but Joe Isabel parked over there somewhere. And he's got the fastest time on the race track right now, 10.3. A very small racetrack here at the Chili Bowl. Takes 10 seconds to get around this place, and that is a good looking paint job on that 714 right there. Is Josh Index what it's showing you right there, but I assure you that Joe, he's over there in the pits somewhere. And Christopher Berger out on the racetrack right now running some laps in that number 2 machine. And let's see, make sure your paints are updated. If they're not, let me know, and we'll try to get that updated for you. So I'm showing American Racing, so I'm pretty sure it is yours, but if it ain't, take a look at some of these paint jobs right now as these guys are getting ready. It's practice here at the Chili Bowl, and it's race number 2, and they call it Cash Days on that show on TV, the was it Street Outlaws? Well, this is a cash race for you tonight here at the Chili Bowl. $120 pot, 50 lap race here tonight. First we'll take 50, second we'll take 30, third we'll take $20, and they're also doing a $20 random driver at the intermission. So I believe the intermission is in between the 305 race and in between right before the 360 start. So it should be good. A lot of fast drivers. If you're out there watching, you got a driver you think's going to win this thing, let me know who it is. But first, they got to get through all the heat races. Let's take a look at some of the fastest drivers out on the racetrack. As it sits right now, Joe Isabel is on top of the charts. 10.361 for Joe Isabel. Bryce Bailey and Hayden Cardwell are going to round out your top 3. You got JD Brown, Alex Smoters, Josh Indick, Jeremy Isabel, Robert Satterfield, Chris Berger, and Alan Bars finishing out the top 10 here in practice. And these are just the fastest lap times and the names of a lot of these drivers that showed up. Right now, we had 50 a while ago. I believe we got about 45, 50 cars here. Still time for you to get out there on the racetrack, so get on in here if you're a part of the Monsters of Dirt and get in on some of this Slide Job Sunday presented by Twisted Motorsports and JIR Motorsports. And you see some of the names right here on your screen. Austin Anderson way back in 30th. Maybe he just hadn't been out there. I'm not for sure, but if that's the case, then it looks like it's going to be a tough night with all these drivers are stacked and packed into this place, ready to go. Hope you're ready. I'm ready. And if not, go ahead and get what you got to get, because we got a good one coming up. 50 laps here, race number 2 at the Chili Bowl for the Monsters of Dirt. We're taking a look at Justin Williams. We got to hear some of the sights and sounds of the race cars on the racetrack. These Sprint 305 sprint cars. And what it's like to get around here at Chili Bowl. Look like they're having a little bit of difficulty. Not too bad out there. It is slick though. Look at that thing, man. It is slick. So I'm not sure if they're going to reset the track or not. And it is week number 2. So you know what that means. This week, we got the point standings for tonight's race. Coming into tonight, your points leader right there, Jeremy Zarfos. He's got a 4-point lead over Alex Bergeron. We got Davin Cardwell, Bryce Bailey, Austin Anderson, Ryan Stillwell, Josh Gayman, and Bob Rafferty there in the top 8. So if you want to get your name up into the top 8 and on the screen, good luck out there tonight. There's the point standings separated by 20 points, the top 8 drivers. But if you was a fan and you watched last season, then you know how spread out those points can get. I believe the top 2 were the only ones within 100 points of each other. And you know why that is? That's because you got to race your way in here at the Monsters of Dirt. They're going to have some heat races where I believe the top 3, top 4 will advance. And then if you don't get in the heat race, you got to go to the C to race your way into the B, to race your way into the A's. So it's a lot of work here tonight, a lot of racing. So if you like to race, you like sprint cars, come on over to the Monsters of Dirt. Tonight, they do run fixed setup on the 305 series. I believe the 360s is an open setup. So, you know, regardless of what you're into, they got something for you. One's fixed and one's open. One's 305, one's 360s. So take your pick, come on over and get in on the action at the Monsters of Dirt. And if you want to be a part of the winnings here, it is a $120 pot for tonight, as I said earlier. Then that means you got to have your entry into the Cash League. All right. And I'll explain on that as soon as possible. But it's $10, I believe. And you have to have your $10 in by the, I don't know which race exactly. It's halfway, I believe. So if you want to win some money tonight, you better get on in there. That's all I'm going to say. And everybody likes to win money. At least I do. I mean, who don't like money? I hear you, Tommy boy. Hey, man, good show today. I had a lot of fun listening to it. Learned a little bit. And you know what? Not sure if you're out there watching or not, but I've been to an IndyCar race at Kentucky Speedway, man. It was pretty cool. Problem was, there wasn't a whole lot of people there. So it made it good in one way, and then it was a little bummer in another way. But those cars, man, the sounds of those cars screaming around a 1.5-mile racetrack. And that was back before they repaved it, too. So they was out there winding them babies up. It was a good race, man. I had a lot of fun down there. And I liked what you guys was talking about with the Indy cars, and you know, how one driver goes to road, one goes to, and then the next week they're racing on an oval. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. I'd love to get a shot at driving one of those things. And if you ever want to race me, you let me know. Yeah. Any of you want some, come get it. Other than dirt, I'll go for it. I'll even get out there on the dirt track. I just don't know if I'm going to do any more official races, man. Those guys, dude, you know, they're not very welcoming, you know. Let's just say that. All right, 2 minutes coming up on 2 minutes left here in this practice session for the Twisted Motorsports JIR Motorsports Slide Job Sunday 305 race here at the Chili Bowl. And we're going to move on. It's going to be qualifying, where one of these drivers are going to put it on the pole to try to get that start, that number 1 spot for heat race number 1, so they can start on the pole this A, and they can just kick back and watch the C and the B because they've already locked themselves in. Tonight here at the Chili Bowl, of course, it's indoors at the Chili Bowl. So, you know, the weather not really gonna matter too much. And you see the roof on this place. There's one place I'd like to go, but I'm not sure if it's very healthy. Maybe someone could enlighten me. I feel like I'd go there and get a buzz from the exhaust fumes, but I guarantee I'd have a good time. I have a good time anywhere I go, so doesn't take much, honestly. And if you go with me, you'll have a good time. Look at him, man. It's slick out there. Let's jump back on board here in this final minute of practice. We're going to jump back in. We're going to jump in with Jeremy Isabel right here. He's kind of just slipping and sliding. It's like ice out there. Let's find somebody. Dustin Hall out on the racetrack. Let's check out Dustin. All right, practice is over. And we're going to move on. Qualifying coming up. Who's going to put it on the pole? Anybody know? Who's going to put it on the pole? Dustin Hall headed out to qualify. And also a lot of other drivers on the racetrack. John Etheridge, Robert Satterfield, Richie Preston, Daniel Cummings Jr., Brian Weideman, Richie Preston. I already said that. Jacob Prilliman, Jason Giblin, JD Brown, Dustin Hall's out there right now. Let's take a look. JD Brown. I won't give away nobody's secrets, but take a look at some of these drivers right now. David Farden is who we're looking at. What's up, Ray? Thanks for stopping by, man. Alan Baller on the racetrack. That orange looks like James Gang Barbecue on the side. 28. We are qualifying. If you just tuned in for the Monsters of Dirt, Twisted Motorsports, JIR Motorsports Slide Job Sunday. It's a $120 cash race. $50 to the winner, $30 to second, and $20 to third, and a $20 random driver in the intermission. Ryan Stillwell is sitting on the pole right now, the number 15. I mean, the number 9, I guess. It says 15 there and 9 there, so however you want to look at it. Stillwell is your pole sitter as it sits right now. Daniel Cummings Jr. sitting in second. He's sitting in the pits as well. Jace Rice on the racetrack. He's sitting in fourth. Let's take a look at some of this information. .478 Jace Wright, and that is going to put him in seventh. New leader of the board, Alex Smoders, with a 10.297 takes over the number 1 spot. Hayden Cardwell didn't let that last very long as he come through with his own quick time. 10.184 for Hayden Cardwell. Bryce Bailey pops in right behind Hayden Cardwell in second. Knocks Alex Smoders back to third. Dylan Hauser puts down a 10.369. He's here. That's right. The one and only Dylan Hauser. This is one of the best drivers in the world right here, this guy. And if you think you can beat him, he said, come get some. He'll race you for 20 bucks, I bet you. He'll race you for free. He'll race you to beat you. Dylan Hauser just running some laps right now. Fourth is going to be his quick time. Brandyn Proudfoot, 10.422 for Brandyn Proudfoot, puts him in sixth. Minute and a half left here in qualifying. Colin Bowden out on the racetrack. He's sitting 18th right now with a 10.540. Austin Anderson right behind him in 19th. And that's all the drivers. Let's see, Brandon's still out there running a few laps, so we'll take a look at him if he wants to continue to run laps for me, or if anybody would like to continue to run laps for me, that'd be nice. Jimmy Barr getting ready to put down him a qualifying time. We still are waiting on Cole Patrick, Andrew Smartwood, Ryan Ray, and Jason Ferguson to put down a lap time so they can be scored on this huge leaderboard of 51 drivers that showed up for this event. Looks like trouble for Jimmy Barr as he ends up on his side. Let's take a look at the results here. Hayden Cardwell, 10.184. Bryce Bailey with a 10.224. Alex Smolders with a 10.297. Dylan Hauser in fourth, 10.369. Fifth is going to be Ryan Stillwell, 10.415. Brandyn Proudfoot, Daniel Cummings Jr., Jeremy Isabel, and Cole Patrick slips up in there and puts down him a qualifying time. I didn't think he was going to do it, but there he is. As we move on, Blake Dependent round out the top 10 in qualifying. Justin Williams, Jace Wright, Alba Deuce. It's going to cut me off. All right, that means it's time for heat race number 1. Check out iRacing monstersofdirt.com if you want to get into this madness next week, or if you need any information about tonight's race or anything to do with the Monsters of Dirt or any of their partners, iRacing monstersofdirt.com. They couldn't do it without all these great partners and all the people like you out there watching right now. And I appreciate all the support that we get from anybody that stops by over here at SRTV Network. You guys are awesome, man. I tell you what, love you guys. But we're moving on to heat race number 1. It's going to be an 8-lap race. And what's it going to be? Top 3 will advance. Let's take a look at the starting grid here. Hayden Cardwell and Brandyn Proudfoot on the front row. Second row, Justin Williams and Anthony Cottle. Third row is going to be Steven Calavoda and Trevor Shaw. Fourth row, GJ Boydell and Joel Muller. Fifth row is going to be Donald Depew and Scott McBride. Row number 6 is Andrew Smartwood all by himself as we get set to go green for the first time here tonight in heat race number 1. Hayden Cardwell in control of the field, and he's going to drop the hammer and get this thing started. Green flag does wave. And we're racing at the Chili Bowl, the 305 sprint cars for the Monsters of Dirt. Cardwell jumps out by 3 or 4 car lengths. Top 3 will advance, and right now it's Cardwell, Proudfoot, and Justin Williams in that final transfer spot. Single file early in this one. Trevor Shaw in that 27 machine. He is sitting in 5th right now. Hayden Cardwell is still your leader. Justin Williams, Brandyn Proudfoot, your transfer spot still. Nothing's changed up front. We're watching back here in 5th and 6th. As Anthony Cottle tries to run down the driver in front of him, Brandyn Proudfoot, to try to slip up in there and take away that final transfer spot. Not going to be the easiest task, but he's going to give it a shot. Checker flag is waving for heat race number 1. Hayden Cardwell takes the win. Justin Williams, Brandyn Proudfoot, Your top three that transfer: Anthony Cottle, Trevor Shaw. They will round out the top five, so they're going to start pretty good in that C main or B main. They got to run in coming up here after these heat races. Now let's see how many we got. We got what? 5 heat races where 3 drivers from each one will lock themselves into the A main. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, we're going to move on to heat race number 2, starting grid, where Bryce Bailey waits patiently there in that pole position. Alongside him in row 1 will be Daniel Cummings Jr. Row number 2, going to be Jace Wright and Richie Preston. In row 3, we got Rob Satterfield and Eric Hilliard. Row 4 is going to be John Etheridge and Josh Gayman. And row number 5, Alan Barr and Bryce Wode. Row 6, Jason Ferguson's going to round out the field here. For heat race number 2, pace truck pulls off of the racetrack. That's going to leave it on our leader, Bryce Bailey. He gets this thing started off right as Bryce Bailey hops out front with a quickness. Tell you what, it's loud in this little building. Trouble in the back. It was. I don't believe Alan Barr. Bryce Wode. Could have been Josh Gayman. Gayman sitting in 8th. Gayman was your champion last season, I believe. The 305 series. Dustin Helms, your champion in the 360s. We're watching our leader, Bryce Bailey, as we are halfway through this one. 4 laps to go. Actually, 3 laps to go. And Bryce Bailey, Daniel Cummings, and Richie Preston is your top 3. Heat race has been pretty clean so far, but Eric Hilliard, he's got about a lap and a quarter to make something happen. See if he can't get up into the top 3, take that last transfer spot from Richie Preston. But we get the white flag and the checkered flag at the same time because the chili bow is so small. That's going to do it. The win's going to go to Bryce Bailey. Daniel Cummings Jr. and Richie Preston are going to round out your top 3 transfer spots. Eric Hilliard, Jace Wright is your other 2 that did not make a transfer spot there. And we're going to move on. Heat race number 3. How about these races so far? Pretty good here for being at the Chili Bowl, you think? Tell you, those guys at the Monsters of Dirt, they really want to make a clean show, so they do what they got to do. And they, of course, got to have some great drivers, man. Got to tip my hat to all the drivers out there. None of this will be any count if it wasn't for you. So keep up the good work. As we move on to heat race number 3, let's do it. Alex Smolders, he's going to be your leader in row 1. Alongside him up front there is Jeremy Isabel. Well, row number 2 is going to be JD Brown and Josh Indick. JD Brown on the outside, by the way. And row number 3, we're going to have... so what happened was one of these drivers didn't grid up. So it kind of moved the, looks like the inside row all up 1. So the grid's not going to be quite right. But Josh Indick, Bryant Weideman, Rodney Shockley, Dustin Hall, Jimmy Barr, Sean Stevens going to round out your starting grid as we get started for heat race number 3, 8 laps. Drivers duking it out early in this one. Showing a lot of respect out there at the Chili Bowl. Oh, the 9 in the fence. Brian Weideman right now, he's sitting in fifth, trying to hang on to that that fifth spot. Oh, trouble there. These guys way in the back. Brian Weideman, that's Sean Stevens. And that iRacing number 40 machine as up front, our leader, Alex Smolders, gonna take another lap around here with JD Brown sitting in second. Here's where the battle is. Jeremy Isabel is battling with JD Brown for that number 2 spot. Both of these drivers are in a transfer spot, so I'm sure neither one of them want to do enough to take away their transfer spot from them, because I'm sure Josh Indick in that 714 has got his eye out that front looking at what's going on in front of him. But right now, it looks like JD Brown's going to separate himself from Jeremy Isabel at the moment as the white flag waves. You know what that means, 10 more seconds and this thing's over. Alex Smolders going to take that checker flag. The winner of heat race number 3, Alex Smolders, JD Brown, and Jeremy Isabel will be your top 3 that transfer. Races go by pretty quick here at the Chili Bow, I've noticed. What's up, Brad Haldane, Dan Stevens, Cody Blue, all you guys out there, man. I'm keeping an eye on you, trying to anyways. Come on, let's hear what you got. Who's going to win these things, man? Come on. We've already had 3 winners. We're about to have another winner, and right now we're moving on to heat race number 4. Starting grid, Dylan Hauser and Cole Patrick are in the first row, and row number 2 is going to be Joe Isabel and Colin Bowden. And row 3, we got Tyler Reed and Michael Sheridan. Row number 4, Jacob Prilliman and Richard Shockley. In row number 5, Robert Schaefer all by himself with his gone squatching hat on there. You see that? I bet there's some interesting conversations to be had with Mr. Schaefer. It will be a pleasure to meet you one day. Until then, heat race number 4 is underway. Looking good up front for your leader, Hauser, as he's got Cole Patrick right on his back bumper. Joe Isabel sitting in that 3rd and final transfer spot. And he's got a nice little gap behind him, but he does get into the wall there. That's going to slow him down just a little bit and let Colin Bowden get a bit closer. The old Colin Bowden licking his chops right now because he sees that number 6 of Joe Isabel having a little bit of trouble. Joe just got to hold him off for a few more laps here and hold on to that final transfer spot in that JIR Motorsports 6J. I'm hearing a little bit of rumbling going on up front, and it is the 20 of Cole Patrick. He's tapped that wall a couple times, and now he's got damage. That's going to hurt him with 2 laps to go. He's not going to be able to control that race car. He has hurt it enough to where he had to park it, and he will lose that transfer spot to Colin Bowden as Dylan Hauser takes the win for heat race number 4. Joe Isabel and Colin Bowden also transfer along with your winner, Dylan. You hate to see it for Cole Patrick, but that's just part of it. If you want to risk it for the biscuit, be ready. Gotta be ready. What's up, Tommy? Hate to see it. Would you look at that? All right, heat race number 5. 3 more drivers going to advance. Let's talk about them. You say? Or Bud? Huh? What do you say, Bud? Ryan Stillwell and Blake DePinnick going to be along that front row. Right behind them is going to be row number 2, Chris Berger and Austin Anderson. In row 3, we got Garrett Nieberge and David Farnan. Row number 4 is going to be Jason Giblin and Jesse Hare. Row 5 is Randy Rockwell and Ryan Ray. And that's going to do it. Ryan Ray not in this grid, by the way. So don't pick Ryan Ray. I see Dan Stevens saying Speedy Anderson. We got the 23 of Austin Anderson out there. Let's see if he can get it done. Starting 4th with only 3 transfer spots. He's going to have to pick off one of these drivers. And Ryan Stillwell will be bringing them to the green flag. Trouble out front for the Blake DePinnick. Cocked sideways. Knocks somebody into next week. And ruins their chances. That makes it easy for Austin Anderson to slip up into that 3rd and final transfer spot, and he will do it right now. Ryan Stillwell, Blake DePinnick, and Austin Anderson is your top 3. Right behind them is Garrett Nieberge. Nieberge knows how to wheel these things at the Chili Bowl, and he is moving up in that VLR machine, trying to take that number 3 spot from Austin Anderson. If Anderson can pick off Blake DePinnick, then maybe he'll have a little bit of trouble in the wall. More trouble in the back. Chris Berger, Jason Giblin, one of those guys back there, hard into the wall. Still watching that final transfer spot as Garrett Nieberge, that VLR 305, pulls right up to the back bumper, coming to 2. It's going to be a white flag this time. Blake DePinnick takes over the lead from Ryan Stillwell, so we do have a new leader, but we're going to keep an eye on this final transfer spot between Austin Anderson and Garrett Nieberge. Nieberge will a tap off of turn number 4. Austin Anderson will take that final transfer spot as Blake DePinnick gets the win for heat race number 5. Ryan Stillwell and Austin Anderson will transfer. Garrett Nieberge and Randy Rockwell, the next 2 that do not transfer. And we got an E main. How about that? Huh? What's up, Mark? Chris Colley. See you guys. Appreciate it. Even if any of the chatter that is out that y'all do out there, man, is welcomed. We're gonna move to the E main, I believe. I'm not sure if they're actually gonna run this thing, but if they do, then the top 4 will transfer. And right now, none of the drivers are on the racetrack, so we're just kind of hanging out and waiting. Scott McBride does pull out, I believe it. If they're not going to run this thing, then they still got to have a driver go out and run the 10 laps. So it looks like Scott McBride is going to be that guy. We're going to get to ride along with Scott McBride for 10 laps and see what it's like right now to ride around the Chili Bowl in a 305 sprint car. So Scott, if you're out there watching, man, give it a heck. Give it hello. I learned that today. And we're going to jump on board with this man. 10 laps at the Chili Bowl before we move on to the D main as we ride along with Scott McBride. McBride out of the Great Plains, by the way. Here we go. He's about to pull it off into turn number 1, hung out, and I'm gonna take a drink. You see how much trouble he's having. It's so slick out there. You got to be very patient and work that throttle, man. I mean, that's what they tell me. You really got to work the throttle at any of these dirt tracks when it's slick like it is here. And Chili Bow, no different. A lot of working of the throttle here. Scott McBride just doing us a favor, getting this E-main out of the way as he completes his 6th lap, actually. So it's 4 more laps around in that beautiful 305 sprint car there. He's got mean green on it. Following this E-main here in 2 more laps, we're gonna move on to the D-main, where we're gonna have a lot of drivers battling for a top transfer spot. But who will get it? Who will make the show? Who won't? Who's gonna make the show? Who's not? I tell you what, let's take a look. I'll tell you what we need to do. Talk about the points, because right now the point standings are set. So let's take a look real quick while we got a chance. Jeremy Zarfos is your points leader. Alex Bergeron 4 points behind. Davin Cardwell, Bryce Bailey, Austin Anderson, Ryan Stillwell, Josh Gayman, and Bob Rafferty, all separated by 20 points. Coming into tonight's race here with the 305 sprint cars. It is race number 2. The Monsters of Dirt. JIR Twisted Motorsports Slide Job Sunday. The doubleheader tonight is 305s and 360s. Next, we'll be at Fairbury. Let's take a look at our starting grid for this one. Jacob Prilliman and Jason Giblin's going to be starting row 1. Row 2 is going to be Donald Depew and Bryce Wold. Row 3, Jimmy Barr and Michael Sheridan. In row number 4, we got David Farnan and Scott McBride. In row number 5, we got Robert Satterfield, and Al's not here, so nobody in that row. Gonna be 6 of them. 4 spots. 2 drivers are gonna go home. Michael Sheridan, Bryce Wold, Robert Satterfield, and Alba is not here. Alba Ducci. And we are green, 4 spots. Jacob Prilliman is the leader right now. It is a 13-lap race. Jason Giblin sitting in second. Donald Depew and Scott McBride, your top 4. David Farden and Jimmy Barr, the 2 that are below that cutoff line. I hear you, Rick, man. I hear you, buddy. Same here. They're out there making some noise at the Chili Bow in this D-main. And I don't know if I could do it. I really don't know if I could do it. We're riding on board with Jason Giblin. On board Jason Giblin, that 9J right there, the JIR Motorsports machine, as he is giving it hello. Oh, onto the berm, up onto the berm. The 80's gonna make his way around. Donald Depew made it. It looked easy, and it should have been. Jacob Prilliman not wasting no time, out front leading laps. There is your leader. He is ripping around the top side, and running the middle there, and looks like in 1 and 2 is he's going to get the 2 to go this time. More of a slider line at 3 and 4. He's making it work, threw down a 11.299 for his fastest lap. That time by was a 6:56, but I think this track is losing grip by the second. This thing getting ready to end right here. White flag is out. Jacob Prilliman, Donald Depew, Jason Giblin, and Scott McBride are going to be your top 4 that move to the C main. Jacob Prilliman going to get the win. The C main coming up. Starting in row number 1, it's going to be Cole Patrick and Jesse Hare. Row number 2 is going to be Joe Moeller and John Etheridge. Row 3 is going to be Rodney Shockley and Robert Schaefer. And in row number 4, we got Chris Berger and GJ Boydell. In row number 5, Alan Barr, Sean Stevens. Row 6, Jacob Prilliman and Donald Depew. Row number 7 is going to be Jason Giblin and Scott McBride. And row 8 is going to be all empty. Looks like 14 drivers in this one, where the top 4 will transfer to the B main, where they're going to take 4 more drivers. So I believe it's going to be like 19 total. 15 and 4, I believe. Is that right? 15 and 6. 21 cars tonight. And the top 4 out of this one will advance to the B main. And of course, trouble on the start there. But it does go green. We're looking further back where it usually stacks up pretty good. Oh, trouble up front. This looks like Robert Schaefer. No. Couple guys having a whole lot of trouble keeping it underneath them here at the Chili Bowl. And here comes Jason Giblin on the inside. Giblin tried to make a pass there. Here is the 39 of Robert Schaefer having a lot of trouble. Early in this one, only 4 laps in, and we got a car around. All the way around. Is that the James Gang barbecue machine, the 28? It's Alan Barr. So that will bring out the caution. Your leader right now is Cole Patrick, Joe Moeller, John Etheridge, Rodney Shockley is the top 4 transfer spots as it sits right now. A little beating and banging going on early in the C main, as they make it about 4 or 5 laps before the caution actually comes out. It's the 39 of Robert Schaefer loses a few spots after starting a little bit further up. He's back into 7th. Let's see if he can pull it back up into that top 4. Cole Patrick about to set him loose. Here we go. The 113 of Rodney Shockley keeping it up out of the way. Looked like he had trouble on the entry. Running that high line, and these guys just very icy track out there. It looks like the 113 trying to get to the back. Sean Stevens in the 40. He's out there putting around, just getting some seat time. Your leader, Cole Patrick, he's way out front. You see him right here ripping the lip. And that is the driver that had the trouble and lost the transfer spot. It is heat race. And he did it by having a little bit of contact with the wall and ended up tearing that machine up. still banging out there. These two drivers right now. I heard a lot of noise coming from those two. But they kept it going. Not sure what the caution is for. With 3 laps to go, that's going to open it up for a green-white checker, I believe, or it's going to finish under caution, maybe. All right, getting set to fire them up. Looks like a Delaware restart going on here where the 20 is going to get way out front. John Etheridge is going to slide in that 3rd spot behind them. Robert Schaefer goes for a ride, I tell you. And he's going to get it up off the racetrack before our leader makes his way back around. The 22 beating and banging. Jacob Perlman, he is going at it with Donald Depew, it looks like. No, that's Jason Giblin and Donald Depew. That 80 machine, Donald Depew. All right, that's going to do it for the C main. That was wild. Cole Patrick's going to get the win. John Etheridge, Joe Moeller, and Jason Giblin's your top 4 transfer spots. Wow. Can't wait to see what this feature is going to be like. It looks like they're racing in slow motion a little bit. They're just riding around. I don't know. It looks funny. All right, we're moving on though. We're the B main, the one that usually puts up all the fuss right here. Top 6 drivers will advance to the A main. So let's talk about who's in this one. Anthony Cotto's going to be your pole sitter. In row number 1, Eric Hilliard is going to be alongside him in that row. Row 2, Josh Dick, Tyler Reed. Row number 3 is going to be Garrett Nieberge and Trevor Shaw. Row number 4, we got Jace Wright and Dustin Hall. And in row 5, Richard Shockley, Randy Rockwell is going to be side by side. Row number 6, Stephen Calavoda and Josh Gayman, your defending champion. Row number 7, Brian Weideman and Cole Patrick. And row number 8, we got John Etheridge and Joel Moeller. Jason Giblin in row number 9 all alone as we get set to go green. Drivers, buckle up, because here we go. The Chili Boat B main underway, 3 wide. Trevor Shaw just out in front of that, and I'm sure he's glad. But he's got company on the inside again. Is 3 wide once again. The 36 of Garrett Nieberge. Don't get hooked together here. That's one thing that could happen. Trying to figure out who that is. Is that Dustin Hall running right along the bottom? Well, they call them catfish. All right, caution comes out, and I'm interested to see what the caution was for. So let's check it out. Well, it wasn't up here. Oh, that's what brought the caution out. Okay, so the 27 got sideways and caused the caution to come out. That's a bit weird. Because aren't you supposed to get sideways on dirt like that? I don't know why they would throw the caution on that, but the caution's out. So 19 laps in this one, and they've done 7 laps. When we go back green flag racing, we're gonna have about 13 to go. Here we go. We're watching Josh Indick. He's in the 714 in that white and purple machine as the caution comes back out. Your top 4 right now is Anthony Cottle, Eric Hilliard, Garrett Nieberge, Josh Indick, Dustin Hall, and Trevor Shaw. I'm sorry, your top 6 transfer spots. Trevor Shaw in that final transfer spot. And we'll try to find a wreck. Let's try to find a wreck. All right, so I believe the caution was brought out because of this right here. I'm not so sure if that's true, but everybody else was going roundy round around the racetrack, and they're getting set to go back green. So we'll go back live. We're up front. Anthony Cottle is going to be in control of this restart. With 7 laps to go, the green flag waves and Cottle gets on that loud pedal. The 35 is Eric Hilliard. The 36 is Garrett Nieberge as they head off into turn number 3. Coming to 6 laps to go. Dustin Hall currently sitting in 4th, battling with Josh Indick. He's got a battle going on in front of him, the 35 and 36 of Nieberge and Hilliard. Up front, single file as Anthony Cottle continues to lead. Garrett sitting in 2nd. Eric Hilliard takes over the lead from Cottle. New leader, the 35 of Eric Hilliard in control now, and he's going to get 3 to go. That 36 of Garrett Nieberge, he's not playing around as he moves up into the lead. They stack up front as Dustin Hall sticks his nose in there. He says, I want some of that fresh air. Dustin Hall up to 2nd. Anthony Cottle back to 4th. But that's not an issue because the top 6 will transfer. Right now is Indick, the final transfer spot. He's going at it with Giblin. They're going to be side by side for a transfer spot. Will Josh Indick be able to get it? Giblin gets sideways coming off of turn number 4, but it looks like he will get it. The win's going to go to Garrett Nieberge. Imagine that. Final practice, 5 minutes. And if you have a driver that you would like to talk to, let me know who it is and what you want to ask them, and we'll try to find them on the radio and get that in for you. And otherwise, let me know who you got winning this thing. A lot of fast drivers out there that qualified for this race. So, you know. Yeah, too bad, man. Too bad. Look at that Jason Giblin's paint job right there. And before this thing kicks off, it's the 2nd race of the season here for the Monsters of Dirt Twisted Motorsports, JIR Motorsports Slide Job Sunday. That's right. Slide Job Sunday with the Monsters of Dirt. Yep. Monsters of Dirt. Let's take a look at the point standings here before we start off the feature race. The A main here for race number 2. Jeremy Zarfos. He took the win last week in race number 1, and he's got a 4-point lead over Alex Bergeron. We got Davin Cardwell sitting in 3rd, Bryce Bailey, Austin Anderson, Ryan Stillwell, Josh Gayman, and Bob Rafferty, your top 8 drivers in the point standings. Coming into race number 2 here at the Chili Bowl. I hear you, Blake. Let's talk to him. I would if I could, Blake. I would if I could. All right, let's do something different. Let's jump on board with the fastest driver on the racetrack right now, Bryce Bailey. Put down a burner. 11.411 for Bryce Bailey puts him on the top of the leaderboard here in final practice with 2.5 minutes left. And I hear you, Craig. I appreciate that, man. I do appreciate that. Let's get that done. Let's get it done right now. How about that? Joe Isabel, it's Jay Weezy. You got a copy?
I do, man. What's up?
Hey, man. Watching you out there, the track looks a bit slick. Looks like you guys might be having some having trouble, some not. But either way, man, how's the car? How's the track feel?
It's a small track. I mean, these cars weren't really designed for this track, I feel like, but it's still fun. Small track. It's really, really slick out there, but I mean, you just gotta stay clean, try not to get in and out, and see what we can do.
Absolutely, man. Got to be very careful here. Small track here at Chili Bowl. Got a question coming in from somebody watching. Craig Kingsbury said, you think you can get the win, and will you go back to the local track soon?
Getting the win, I'm starting pretty deep. We'll see what happens. Maybe I keep my nose clean and I get lucky and somebody might screw up front.
Right.
And then as far as coming back to racing, I mean, yeah, I hope someday. I mean, after that garage fire that I had a few years back, lost everything, but we're building it back up slow. I'll be back racing someday. It's in my blood. I'll never give it up.
Well, that's what I like to hear, man. Get back out there. I'm sorry to hear about that, going through a lot of stuff, right. Sounds like. So if you get it back together, you get a chance, man. Get back out there. I know you love it.
Hell yeah, Weezy. We'll be watching, man.
Absolutely, man. Well, good luck out there tonight. They're going to be pulling for you.
Later.
All right, that was Joe Isabel. And thanks, Joe. Appreciate that, buddy. Oh, big trouble here on the racetrack. Coming up on the race. It's time. We're getting ready to get dirty. And thanks for the question, Craig. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. But it's time to get it done here. Race number 2 for the Monsters of Dirt. Twisted Motorsports, JIR Motorsports, Slide Job Sunday, 305 Sprint Car Series at the Chili Bowl, about to kick off right now. Your starting grid for tonight, race number 2. Hayden Cardwell starting on the pole. He's going to have Bryce Bailey alongside him. How about that? Row number 2, we're going to have Alex Smolders and Dylan Hauser. Row number 3, Blake DePennant and Justin Williams. And row number 4, Daniel Cummings Jr. and JD Brown. Row number 5, we got Joe Isabel, Ryan Stillwell. And row number 6, we got Brandyn Proudfoot and Richie Preston. Row number 7, Jeremy Isabel and Colin Bowden. And row number 8, we're going to have Austin Anderson and Garrett Nieberge. Row number 9, Eric Hilliard and Anthony Cottle. And row 10, we got Dustin Hall and Josh Dick. Row 11 by itself, Jason Giblin. As this thing gets started, the green flag is out and race number 2 is on just like that here at the Chili Bowl. Oh, big trouble. They stack it up back in the back, and that will bring out the caution. Way too many cars caught up in that one. So let's go back on the replay. I think we got off to to a fairly decent start. And then the caution pops out, so you know. Oh, and you see it right there. Somebody may have parked it in the middle of the corner, and that's going to put none other than Joe Isabel on his lid. You hate to see it. As the leaders come around and put him one lap down, we'll go back live because up front, Hayden Cardwell is your leader, and Bryce Bailey's going to be right behind him. You hate to see it from Joe, and tell him he got the broadcaster's curse is what they call it. It's a real thing, and it happens to a lot of great drivers. So I'm sorry, but I can kind of blame it on Craig Kingsbury, you know what I'm saying? All right, we're getting set to go back green here. 50 laps, where one of these drivers, the winner of tonight, will get $50, second will get 30, and third will win $20. And they're also going to do a $20 random driver at the intermission if you're paid into the cash league. If not, get into it. Green flag back out here with 44 laps to go. Hayden Cardwell, and they are 3 wide for second. Was 3 wide for first there for a hot second, but Hayden Cardwell figured out how to get out of that mess. The 211, Alex Smolders, he gets a bit sideways. Oh, we got a driver in the wall. Look at these guys getting it up front. Hayden Cardwell, Dylan Hauser, JD Brown, Bryce Bailey, and Alex Smolders. Just your top 5. Let's take a look further back where the racing is actually a little bit dirtier. Austin Anderson back here in the 23 machine. He's right behind the 25. It looks like that is I don't know who the 25 is. Oh, well, we watched the 25 send it into Justin Williams right there, and he's going to make his way around. That's probably not the best way to pass, not the nicest way, or the best way to make friends either. Maybe I didn't see that. Maybe I was way wrong. I should probably just keep my mouth shut. Let's rewind it. Go back on the replay. Let's find out the truth of why we're under caution. Oh, they had contact going into the corner there, and then another tap from Cottle, and then another one. Because they was going to make sure Jeremy Isabel went around. I'm just kidding. Kind of nowhere to go in that situation. So it's just unfortunate for Jeremy Isabel. But we'll get this thing racked back up. And here we go, back green. Hayden Cardwell almost sent it, and the caution. Looks like they're going to remain under caution here. Hayden almost sent it right there. I know a lot of people watching the football game don't think I ain't watching it. 28-17 right now. All right, looks like they're ready. They are still behind the pace truck, but there goes the pace truck. Cardwell, your leader, steps on that loud pedal. Here we go. Back green once again, in trouble for Austin Anderson. He keeps a hold of it. The 22 stuck together with the 23. That's going to put them in the infield. They're going to have to back it back up and get it going again as the leaders are coming. Hayden Cardwell, the 46 of Dylan Hauser, and also Alex Smolders and JD Brown, as those two are battling for that third position. Brown down on the inside and Smolders up on the high side in that 211. Brown able to get out in front of that 211, and also Bryce Bailey makes his way around Alex Smolders to take that fourth spot. Up front still Hayden Cardwell, Dylan Hauser running 1-2. Single file at the Chili Bowl as it sits right now. We're watching 6th, 7th, and 8th, 9th. And that consists of that 23 of Anderson is one lap down. Just waiting to get a lap back so he can get back in this thing. Back up front, Cardwell trying to work his way around lap traffic. And that's Jeremy Isabel, I believe. He's got Brandyn Proudfoot right in front of him. Let's watch as our leader weaves his way through traffic and holds on to the lead. Jason Giblin right in front of him. Giblin in the 9J, I believe. Your leader running very high around the racetrack, right up at the top, when that little bit of grip that's up there, not the easiest thing to do. And then he moves to the bottom as he is weaving his way back and forth across the racetrack here at the Chili Bowl. Trying to hold on to that lead. Here comes the 46 of Hauser, giving him a little bit of encouragement to keep the lead. He says, "Here I am, knock, knock. I'm not going to let you just run away with this one." But if he can't get around Proudfoot and Justin Williams as they go side by side, and also has the 21. Oh, trouble for the 21. He gets in the wall. He keeps it up out of the way. And that's going to put Cardwell back up on the high side. Oh, into the wall. Here comes Hauser. Powers back as we got a new leader. The 46 was just sitting there riding behind Hayden Cardwell, waiting for him to make one mistake so he can take control of the lead, and he does. Hauser leads for the first time tonight. Cardwell sitting in second. JD Brown still holding on to that third spot. And JD's been running the bottom the entire time. Well, let's see how good Hauser can work his way through lap traffic. Right now, he's coming up on Brandyn Proudfoot. The 22 running the bottom. That's exactly where Hauser's been getting those quick lap times, right down on the bottom of the racetrack. And he gets ever so close to the back of that 22. And then the caution comes out, exactly what the 22 of Proudfoot needed, because he was about to go a lap down. Pace truck's going to pull off onto the racetrack. And we're going to take a look at the replay and find out what brought us under caution here this time. Oh, there it is. Contact between Dustin Hall, and I'm not sure who that other driver was. Blake DePinnett. I'm not sure if that's the reason the caution came out, but we'll keep an eye on it. Oh, there you go, right there. Blake DePinnett stops on the racetrack, and I believe that's what, I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't really see a reason why the caution came out as we go back live where Hauser puts the hammer down and sends us back under green with only 6 laps to go this time by. Will Hauser be able to hold on to that lead? Hayden Carmwell's all the way back in 7th, and he is still dropping as it looks like he is damaged on that race car. His sprint car has got to be handling like a boat or a jet ski right now because he cannot get that thing to turn, and he's losing spots left and right back in 12th. If he can keep it on the lead lap, he'll be doing all right. We'll find out. But right now, Hauser is the class of the field, still leading as JD Brown searches around the racetrack to find some speed. Hauser's not going to do that. He's right on the bottom. He's found out where he likes it. He's going to continue to put down those laps. Last time by, he ran a 12.89, and JD Brown ran a 12.1. So you're talking 0.2 of a second faster. Hauser is down on the bottom of the racetrack. Working that throttle is what he's doing. And we got Alex Smoters continuing to put pressure on JD Brown as Dylan Hauser comes to the checker flag. He's going to get the win for race number 2. Congrats to the driver of that number 46 machine, Dylan Hauser. He's going to win this thing. Started 4th, finished 1st, and led 17 laps. Great performance there by the driver of that 46 machine. Great job by the 14 of JD Brown, and also the 48 of Colin Bowden. He's going to be up on the podium as well. Let's take a look at our race results, and right after that, don't go nowhere. We got driver interviews coming right up. Dylan Hauser gets the win. JD Brown in 2nd. Colin Bowden, Bryce Bailey, Garrett Nieberge, Ryan Stillwell, Eric Hilliard. We got Brandyn Proudfoot, Anthony Cottle, and Hayden Cardwell. Not a bad finish there by Cardwell after tearing up that 305 sprint car. Alex Motor is going to bring it home 11th. Dustin Hall is going to bring it home 12th. Austin Anderson, Jason Giblin, Josh Indick, Daniel Cummings Jr., Richie Preston, Justin Williams, Blake DePennant, Jeremy Isabel. It's your top 20. Joe Isabel rounds out the field here tonight at the Chili Bowl for race number 2 for the Monsters of Dirt. Twisted Motorsports, JIR Motorsports Slide Job Sunday. Let's see if we can talk to our 3rd place finisher here tonight. And that's going to be Mr. Colin Bowden. Let's see if we can find him on the radio. How about it? We got a Colin on the radio. Does he got a radio? Some people throw them out the window. Some people don't. You know, when the race is over, you just yank your earplugs out. Your radio earplugs, that is. And you say, nah, I'll pass. So it looks like we're not going to get to talk to our 3rd place finisher, Colin Bowden. He started 14th tonight. He didn't get up front and lead any laps. He ran a pretty good lap with 11.861, but he gained 11 spots to finish 3rd. We'll move on to our 2nd place finisher, JD Brown. He started 8th, worked his way up to that number 2 spot with a fast lap of 11.693. And that almost the fastest lap on the racetrack. I think Hayden Cardwell with 11.5 had the fastest lap. JD, it's Jay Weez. You got a copy?
Sure do.
All right, man. You started 8th, worked your way up to 2nd. What was the trick to it?
I was just trying to keep clean, and that top I like personally. So I was just running up there, just got to 3rd and just cruised till then. Then Hayden had some issues with the wall and broke, so just managed to roll into 2nd.
Yeah, I know it's your teammate, man. Did you hear on the radio what happened to him? It looked like he broke the car pretty good.
Yeah, I know Hauser got by him, and he's like, yeah, I'm done. My car's walking not straight, so he kind of just started falling back there towards the end. Couldn't do much about it.
Yeah, well, that's the difference between you two. He knows how to push it to the limit. He kind of risked it for the biscuit. And JD, you're always down there on the bottom, it seems like, and very patient, very consistent with that throttle, man. Does that have a lot to do with it, that throttle control out there on the track tonight?
Yeah, if you're on the bottom, you can't barely any throttle at all. Just had to be smooth up top of you a little bit more, but still, just with how slick it is, you barely any throttle. Just try to keep it straight and smooth as possible.
Hey, well, it seemed like that's what it was. It worked for you. It worked for you, and I believe it worked for Dylan Hauser. So, man, good job out there tonight. I know it was a tough race here at the Chili Bowl, but you did a fine job coming home 2nd. Anybody want to thank?
Hey, I want to thank Dominator Design and iRaps, Dustin off for making the wraps for us, H&O Automotive, SRTV, and U-Easy for broadcasting this too, and Checkers and Records for helping us out and sponsoring us. So you'll check them out and broadcast on the Facebook show.
All right, man. Hey, you still the GOAT. I'll talk to you on the next one, I hope.
Will do.
All right, that was JD Brown, our 2nd place finisher. Let's move on. And let's talk to our winner here tonight. Started 4th, led 17 laps, and took the victory home here. Race number 2 for the Twisted Motorsports Slide Job Sunday. Dylan Hauser, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I did.
Hey, man, I tell you what, I was going to try to get an interview in with you there earlier in the race. Couldn't find you on the radio, but hey, you figured out a way to get on the radio, man. Good job out there tonight. Seen you digging on the bottom, man. You had it figured out down there. Don't want to give away any secrets, but throttle control, what was the secret?
Yeah, you know, we got that deep lap traffic there, and me and Hayden were kind of crossing each other up and wigging through the lap traffic, and I had to go low because there was like 2 lap cars on the top, and I went low, and I honestly rolled it really good, and I was a little faster doing it, so I just stayed down there, and then Hayden was still on the high side, so he pretty much gave me a free track to go down there and run, so I just took the bottom and ran smooth down there, didn't get the car too sideways, nice and easy, and that's what it took. Not sure what happened to Hayden there, but it was unfortunate, and we got the win. I was shocked myself a little bit, you know, the first restart we were 4th, and I didn't know how good we were going to be, but we got the job done.
Hey, man, you look so smooth down there, and it looked like under that green flag run, as you was weaving your way through lap traffic, you was kind of getting the better of him there. He was having a harder time getting around those lap cars, and you had somehow figured it out, got to his back bumper, gave him a knock on the door to let him know you was here, and next thing you know, man, he's gone back there somewhere.
Yeah, you know, I think when he saw the bottom was coming in, he tried running the top harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
And I just think it bit him. But yeah, I was surprised that bottom was really good. But I'll take it, man. That's
absolutely.
It's good to win one of these.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm glad you're in victory lane. I really I wanted you to win this thing, man. Somebody's got to stop this guy. No, man, I'm just kidding. Good job out there tonight, man. Congrats on the win. You want to thank anybody?
I want to thank John and Twisted Motorsports for sponsoring the series. It's fun. I love 305s. Thank you for broadcasting and everybody at Slick Sim Sport. Couldn't do it without you guys. So yeah.
Hey, man, you the man here tonight. If you're gonna hop into 360, man, good luck in that. Hope to see you there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to run 360s, but good luck to all the competitors and have fun.
All right, congrats, man. Good win. All right, that was Dylan Hauser, the winner for tonight's race. Race number 2, that is, of the season. That means he's going to win $50. Second is going to be $30, and $20 is going to go to third. And you know who that is, Colin Bowden. We didn't get to talk to him, but hey, maybe next time. Maybe next time. Thanks to all the people that's out there watching, everybody that had anything to do with making this possible. You guys are awesome. And don't forget, we got 360s coming up here in about 30 minutes, I believe. or 10. So come back, watch the show. It's going to be a good one. We're going to Fairbury. It's going to be open setup. And of course, the Monsters of Dirt couldn't do it without all of you and all of these guys you see on your screen right now. So until next time, for SR TV Network, for Monsters of Dirt, Twisted Motorsports, JIR Motorsports, and all of the great people to help make this possible, keep getting dirty. I'll see you in a minute.